they offer me 40 hours of community service. Is that still on the table?
Okay.
If I enter like an oral motion of dismissal based on constitutional grounds, are you standing on your constitutional oath?
That
Yeah,
may be beneficial.
it says automobile, horse, drawn wagon, or carriage.
Okay.
So
So,
an
Mr.
automobile is not necessarily a car if it's a household good.
But
I
all
mean,
of those things are not
an
true.
automobile was actually created before a driver's license was ever created.
All right, everyone. Today's video features a wild court hearing involving a self-described sovereign citizen. He's using the same familiar arguments, claiming he wasn't driving but merely traveling. Of course, that's not how the law works, but he keeps repeating it anyway. He talks nonstop, jumps from one legal-sounding phrase to another, and seems convinced that throwing out random arguments will somehow get him out of trouble. In this hearing, the judge takes a fairly calm and patient approach. Some viewers might feel she could have been more firm, but that's up for debate. I'm curious what you think. Do you believe the judge handled this well, or should she have shut things down sooner? Let's jump in and watch how it unfolds.
You hear me?
Yes, I
Okay.
hear you.
So you're before the court on 2019 CR 04954 for driving on a suspended or revoked license, no license, failure to display license, failure to have license on person. I'm not sure, it cuts off, and no tag or expired or invalid tag. So that's on the first case. On the case from 2020 03114, you have a suspended or revoked license. You're represented by Lister and Holt on one of the cases, but not on the other. Did you want Lister and Holt to represent you, or did you want to represent yourself?
I represent myself.
On both cases?
Yes, ma'am. I have a quick question as far as law concern when it comes to driver's license.
Okay.
Okay, you're only allowed to have one driver's license, and
Right.
I have an Alabama driver's license. So when I get pulled over, I actually show them my Alabama driver's license, and it's current. It's the most current, and so they make a determination if they should go off the Georgia driver's license or the Alabama driver's license. And when I present the Alabama driver's license, they let me go because my Alabama license is valid, and you're only allowed to have one. And I had Alabama license first, so
I
my
believe
Georgia
this sounds
driver's
like a not
license.
guilty.
Okay. So, Mr. Resto, what Mr. Taylor is saying is this is something that you could prove at trial. If you present that information at trial, then that means you want to go to trial instead of taking a plea. I don't know what the recommendation is, and I don't know.
The recommendation was, I think I've been dealing with this case for an awful long time now, so
Yeah.
I don't really want to go to trial. I just want to get it behind me. But I think that the recommendation, I remember the recommendation quite clear. They offered me 40 hours of community service. Is that still on the table?
Okay, no, Mr. Resto, it's more than that. So let me.
Things get even more surprising when he starts trying to negotiate during the pre-hearing, almost like it's an informal discussion instead of courtroom. You can see why both the judge and the prosecutor find the situation hard to take seriously. Encounters like this are unusual, but they do happen, and it really shows how challenging courtroom management can be. So far, the prosecutor's responses add some unexpected humor to the moment. Let me know what you think of how he's handling this case, and let's continue.
I know it's more than that. So the basic fines and fees for driving on a suspended license is the first time in 5 years. If you get one, then you can enter a NOLO plea if you have a NOLO plea eligible to you, and then the fine is $500. But if you get a second one, the fine goes to $1,000. A third one, the fine goes to $1,500 and 10 days mandatory jail time. You have a second one, which means that you might be able to enter a NOLO to the first one, but then the second one is outstanding. So when you took a plea to the second one, that would definitely suspend your license. So that's what's on the table.
Okay, now if I enter like an oral motion of dismissal based on constitutional grounds, are you standing on your constitutional oath?
Okay, I'm not sure what that is. So I have taken an oath to uphold the Constitution and to make sure that I treat people as the law would direct me to do so. So,
Okay. Well, I asked this question previously when I was in your courtroom one day in regards to the right to travel under the 14th Amendment, stating that citizens do not need a permit to travel with a horse-drawn carriage, wagon, or automobile without interference by police. And I was on a public highway actually when I got pulled over. The
okay, so
highway.
that's not actually in the Constitution.
And
So
I
the
don't
right to
believe
travel, the right
automobiles
to
were
travel.
around when the 14th Amendment was ratified.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Taylor.
I just wanted to point out to the court that automobiles hadn't been invented when the 14th Amendment was ratified. That
Yeah,
may have been a factor.
it says automobile, horse, drawn wagon, or carriage.
Okay,
So
so
an
let's
automobile is not necessarily a car if it's a household good. It's just a form of transportation. It doesn't matter if it's an automobile, horse, drawn wagon, or carriage, because it's still a form of transportation, and citizens have the right to travel without interference by police. So I don't even know how the police are even allowed to interfere with travel when I'm not using my vehicle for commerce.
Your Honor,
And it's
at
hold
a
this
on, Mr.
particular
totally
Taylor.
private house.
At this point, many people might wonder why the judge hasn't stepped in more forcefully. Judges have the authority to keep hearings on track and prevent them from dragging on unnecessarily. Situations like this can slow everything down, and you can even sense the prosecutor wanted to move things along instead of a short and focused hearing. This ends up lasting much longer than it probably needed to. Some might argue that this is part of why courts become so backed up. Do you think the judge should be stricter here, or is patience the better approach? Let's see what happens next.
Okay, so Mr. Resto, if somebody drove 100 miles an hour into the back of your vehicle and killed your a family member, would you want the police to interfere?
That's a murder. I mean, that's if someone got killed.
But they're traveling. You can't interfere with somebody traveling.
No, I mean you can't. It's stating that a police just can't interfere with your traveling, like pulling you over for a traffic violation or a tag.
But you
You're
want them
not.
to
You can't.
interfere if
Now,
somebody,
if you murder somebody because of
well, if,
sovereign,
okay, say you don't murder them, say you just hurt them, say you just damaged the vehicle. You don't want the police to interfere.
no, that because that's when it almost becomes like an accident or a crime or whatnot. So the police can. That's not really an interference. An interference with your traveling, not an interference when two citizens engage in an accident. It's interfering with you just traveling. Now, police officers, as far as public servants, they have a duty to serve to the people. So if a car accident occurs, then of course public servants, as far as ambulance, as far as firemen, they will come to the scene just as a service. But for you to just interfere in my traveling is actually a violation of the Constitution.
Well, sir, the Constitution and the cases that have come out of the constitutional jurisprudence allow cities and states and municipal organizations to regulate travel for the benefit of the citizens. So they can put reasonable regulations on travel, meaning you can have a license. They can grant you the privilege of having a license to drive. They can regulate how your license is seen. If you don't have a license, or if your license is suspended, they can intervene to take your license away or your privilege to drive away. It is a crime. You can be convicted of not driving under a proper license. So the government is allowed to intervene in a lot of ways with people traveling. So I'm not sure where this information comes from, but there's a lot of stuff on the internet about traveling and the 14th Amendment and horse and buggies and even maritime law. But
I mean,
all of those
an
things are not true.
automobile was actually created before a driver's license was ever created.
Then comes one of the more unusual claims. He argues that because vehicles existed before driver's licenses, licensing requirements shouldn't apply. That idea doesn't hold up. Just because something existed before a law was created doesn't mean the law is invalid. Driver's licenses exist for a simple reason: to make sure people understand traffic rules and can operate vehicles safely. They're about public safety and order. Ignoring laws based on timing alone just doesn't make sense, and this argument quickly falls apart under even basic reasoning.
So people
Okay.
was actually their case pamphlets where people was actually operating vehicles before a driver's license ever became. That's actually you guys are actually a conflict of interest, actually, as far as you being in cahoots with the DMV. That's a totally separate entity.
Okay.
And for
So,
some
Mr.
reason,
Resto, do you want to resolve the case? Because it's
I
not going
want
to
to
be
resolve the
40
case, but
hours of
I disagree with the fine amount because it changed. I would
it.
pay I would make an offer like I can do $1,000, maybe 12-month probation, but
Mr. Resto,
$2,000 that's excessive.
Mr. Resto, we're not negotiating. Those are statutory fines, meaning they're written into the law. I can't even change them.
Can I make a counter offer to the state and say it's $1,000? That can I be?
No,
Because I did do
sir.
time in jail. If the state would see that
Well,
and count,
that's why I'm saying that you may want to speak with an attorney because certain things that they can negotiate, I can't change the statute. I can't change what's written in it, but they can negotiate. And if the solicitor wants to give you credit for time in jail in lieu of the fine, those are things that they can do that I can't do.
yeah. So I would ask to the district attorney, knowing that I did serve some days in jail, can you guys
Okay.
lower the fine and I just go ahead and end this
So,
case right now? I can do 1,000. I got $1,000 right now.
Mr.
And
Mr. Resto, so that's a conversation that you need to have with them directly without me being present, number one. Number two, the reason I keep saying you might want to go through your attorney is because they can explain to you what is already on the table and how that may or may not change, okay?
what's on the table now, man?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I would rather you have that conversation in a breakout room with the attorney who's assigned to your case and with the state as opposed to here in the main room. One, because I have other cases that need to be addressed, and two, because that's not information I need to hear.
Okay, is it anything I can do to get this case resolved now? Because it's been lingering on
I'm
my
telling
head
you what to
for
do, but you're
years.
not listening, Mr. Reston. Mr.
I mean,
Resto,
today, like I want to resolve this today.
I get that you want to resolve it today, and I'm telling you what to do, but you're not listening to me. I said you can go into a breakout room with your attorney, and the attorney and you can discuss what's already on the table. And then if your attorney wishes to speak with the state to clarify anything, they can do that too. But you're not going to get it resolved by going back and forth with me because there's stuff I cannot do.
Okay, just tell the state that I'll take their recommendation. I'll just pay the $2,000 if they can give me 12 months to pay it off. And
Okay,
if I pay
sir,
it off early, if my probation can be terminated, that would.
And that's where things end for the day. He leaves a hearing early, which appears to result in serious consequences, including a bench warrant. Don't worry, though. I'll be posting his second court appearance tomorrow, so stay tuned. At the end of the day, this was another example of someone trying to avoid a relatively small fine, about $2,000, by relying on arguments that courts have consistently rejected. Simply using certain phrases doesn't make legal obligations disappear. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts. Do you think the judge was too lenient, or did she handle this appropriately? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoy this type of courtroom breakdown and want to see more, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Thanks so much for watching, and feel free to suggest other hearings you'd like me to cover.